A camera can be a very intimidating piece of equipment, but once you've learned how to use it, it's really not all that bad. Today what we're going to use is a Sony PD150. We're going to show you how to get the customized settings that you want to get the shot that you want. Also, the media or tape that we're going to use is called mini DV. This is very standard that only consumers and professionals use as well. It's easy to use because you can import it directly into your computer for editing. Here's where the tape goes and how to put it in. You need to be very careful that you do not put too much pressure on the tray, as it is a very delicate piece of equipment and can be broken very easily. The next step is to turn the camera on. There are two different positions for the camera, VTR, which is for playback, and cam for recording. Once turned on to the camera mode, there are two choices to set so that the camera can be used. The first is in automatic mode, and the second in manual. In automatic mode, the camera takes averages and sets the parameters to what it thinks is normal. Now, this is great for your average consumer, but if you want to make something more professional and to be used in the professional age, then you need to use manual mode. In manual mode, you will first set the focus, white balance, shutter speed, and your iris or aperture. The focus is something easily set. To do this, you will set up your camera and the actor or whatever your main subject is and zoom in as far as you can, then focus. Then you can zoom out to your desired framing, and you will be in a focus as far as your main subject is concerned. The next thing to set is your white balance. The white balance is very important because it tells the camera what is white. You have indoor lighting, outdoor lighting, fluorescent lighting. Each of these lightings have different color temperatures. The camera makes these temperatures much more noticeable than your eyes do. To set the white balance, you zoom into a white piece of paper or whatever is white, and then you press this button. Now, your white balance is set properly. Moving on to the shutter speed. Most of the time, you will leave it to the default 60. There is no other reason to set your shutter to a different setting unless you're shooting a fast-paced sports event or something that has quick movements in it. What it does is make the movements crisper. The only thing about adjusting the shutter speed is the higher you set the shutter, you have to open the iris more. Which brings us to the aperture. The aperture is a little bit more delicate to set. Do not trust any viewfinder. Any TV monitor or viewfinder is not set to any kind of standard. I repeat, do not trust the viewfinder for the aperture. What we'll use instead are zebra stripes. Turn them on here. What zebra stripes do is put diagonal lines on things that are white in the viewfinder. If you're overexposed, you'll see too many zebra stripes. But if you're underexposed, you won't see any at all. What you want to do is make sure you see zebra stripes on only things that are white. Not a face, but a shirt, for example. Finally, there are two important things to remember. First is make sure you have enough media at the beginning and the end of each shot or scene. This will allow you more options in the editing process. Second is make sure all those settings are right that we've talked about earlier. Those settings being our focus. Make sure that's right. Zoom in and focus on the subject. Second is going to be your white balance. Put the card up and push the white balance shot on the camera. Third is going to be your shutter speed. Now the default is usually 60 and it's fine, just go ahead and leave it at that. Finally is going to be your iris. Make sure that is set because you want to make sure you see zebra stripes on everything that's white. Well, this has been our crash course on how to operate a camera. Now go out there and make your masterpiece.